welcome you to this week's session of Fun Fit from Home. So today we will be focusing on lower body strengthening. We will not need any equipment today other than a chair. So you want to make sure that you are, however, wearing a pair of flat sole shoe, like a running shoe or a walking shoe, and you also want to make sure that you have a little bit of space to move around in. Our workout today is going to be divided into 3 segments. So we're going to do our warm-up, which is going to include mostly dynamic range of motion exercises. Then we're going to get right into our lower body strengthening exercises, and then we're going to finish off with some flexibility exercises for our cool down, which is going to include mostly static stretches. Throughout our workout, we are going to move relatively quickly through the exercises for the purpose of this video. But if you do need to rest in between each exercise, feel free to press the pause button, and you can rest a minute to 2 minutes in between exercise if you need to. Remember also that you can grab a drink at any point throughout this workout. So grab your chair and let's get right to it. So we're going to start just nice wide stance here, and we're just going to take 3 deep breaths. So we're going to breathe in, reach the arms up, turning your palms up at shoulder height, and then exhale down. And again, inhaling, reaching the arms up, and exhale down. And again, deep breath in. So it's important that you remember to keep breathing through all of our exercises today. So hands down. So we are going to move through some dynamic stretching exercises for the lower body. So we're going to start with the ankle. So here's the chair. You can use it for balance if you need to. If you want to challenge your balance, you can try without, but just be on the safe side. It's there just in case you need it. So we are going to lift one foot up here, and we're going to pump the ankle, lifting the toes up and down. So this stretches the shin and the calf in a dynamic motion. And now circle the ankle. And now let's move in the other direction. And bring the foot down. So now, of course, we have to do that on the other side. So we're going to lift the foot up, point your toes up towards the ceiling, stretching your calf, and point down towards the floor, stretching your tibialis anterior, shin muscle. And let's alternate between the two. And now circle the ankle in one direction. Other direction. And foot down. Great job, guys. So now we're going to do a high knee march, but we are going to do it slow. Hands on the hips or one hand on the chair. You're going to lift one knee up and the other. So here we're focusing on the hip joint here, but a little bit of the knee as well because your knee is bent. We're going to add a little bit more knee in a little bit. So this is also good because it also works on balance. Okay, last one here. We're going to continue, but we're going to add a knee extension here. So you're lifting the knee up, and extending the lower leg, bending the knee, and coming back down. So use the chair if you need to for support for balance, or hands on the hips to challenge your balance a little bit more. So that's entirely up to you. Just make sure that you are feeling steady enough if you are not using the chair. So dynamically moving your muscles in this way is a great way to warm up your body to get them ready for strengthening exercises. Let's do 2 more of those. So up, kick, bend, down, up, kick, bend, down. All right, great job, guys. So still next to your chair. Now we're gonna work on the leg that is furthest away from the chair here. So you're gonna lift your knee up, and with the bent knee here, you're gonna circle the hip. So you really wanna make sure that that motion comes from high up on the leg, on the hip joint. Nice fluid motion. All right, let's go in the other direction. And feet together. Great job, guys. So we're gonna stick with that leg, and now we're gonna do the same exercise, but we're gonna do it with a straight leg rather than a bent knee. So you're gonna extend your leg in front, circle out to the side and back, and again. So that's 2. We're gonna do it 5 in each direction. 3, 4, and 5, and other direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Feet together. Let's go to the other side of our chair here. We're going to start that with the bent knee variation. So your knee is going to be bent here, and you're going to circle out the hip. So 5 in each direction. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, other direction, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Plant both of your feet down, and now we're going to do the same thing but with a straight leg. So here we go. So out front, circle it back. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, other direction, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're gonna step our feet out here. So at least hip distance apart, maybe shoulders slightly wider, and you want your toes facing forward or slightly to the side, but you don't want them facing in towards one another. So we're gonna do about a micro squat just to warm up those knees a little bit. So you're gonna shift your hips back, bend your knees a little bit, and then come up and down. So it's a small motion here. We're not doing a full squat, but the weight's still in your heels. So we're still warming up. This is the last move in our warm up before we move on to more exercises that focus a little bit more on strengthening. So just a little bit of a bend here. So squeeze your glutes at the top, just a little bend in the knee and the hip joint. So you should be feeling a little bit warmer now. Let's do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, great job, guys. So as we move on to our strengthening exercise, you might see me move my chair around. That's only so that you can get a better view. So you can always stay right in the same spot that you're at. So we are going to start with the first strengthening exercise, which is a single leg exercise called a split squat. Some people also call it a lunge. Great to strengthen the quadricep. So we are going to go next to our chair here. So you're always going to want to have at least one hand on the back of the chair here to help you with balance. Your feet are going to be apart here, and you're going to you're going to stagger your feet, but just make sure that they stay in this distance apart as you do that. So you're going to step one leg back. It doesn't matter which one because we're going to do both legs. And you're going to want to stay onto the ball of the back foot, and your heel is pointing straight up towards the ceiling. Shoulders over hips. We're going to go straight down like an elevator going down a shaft. This knee stays right above the ankle, and we're going to come up. We're going to do that 8 times. So that's just 1. Look straight ahead. 2. 3. 4. 5. Almost there. 6. Nice and slow here. 7. And 8. All right, you're going to step your feet together, and we're going to do that on the other side. So you're going to take a step back with the other leg. On the ball of the back foot, we're going to go straight down. Make sure you keep breathing as you do the exercises. So here we go. We're going to count backwards this time. 8, look straight ahead. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, step your feet together. So the next exercise, we're going to kind of combine a chair, sit, and stand, and a squat. So what you're going to want here is to sit in the middle of your chair. So again, knees at least hip distance apart, maybe shoulder distance apart. So you want your toes either facing straight ahead or slightly to the side, but not towards one another. And you want to imagine here like you have a big ball in between your knees, keeping your knees apart in this position. We're going to cross the arms across the chest, and we're going to stand up, pressing into your heels, squeeze your glutes at the top, and we're going to have a seat, but not all the way down in a chair. So you're shifting your hips back, not sitting all the way down, and then coming up. So that's 1, little feather touch on the chair. 2, we're still breathing. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Let's sit all the way down. All right, great job, guys. So for the next 2 exercises, we're going to stand next to our chair, and we're actually going to do 3 exercises in a row on one side of the chair before we move on to the other side of the chair. So let's go ahead and stand right up. We're going to go next to our chair. Again, doesn't matter which side, we're going to do both legs. And the first exercise in this series of 3 is to work the quadricep, which is the front of the leg, and it also works your hip flexor, which is a little higher up here. Okay, so we're going to stand nice and tall. For all 3 of these exercises, you want to try to keep your upper body as stable as possible. So the only thing that's going to be moving here is your leg. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. So you want to go slow on the down phase, so it's slow on the up phase, slow on the down phase. 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, 4 more. 4, 3. You might feel the other leg working a little bit here too. And 1. So in the standing leg, your glute med is working really hard to keep you stabilized. Okay, so we are going to stay on this side, and now we're going to do an outer thigh leg lift. So in this exercise, what you want to watch out for is the toes of the leg that's furthest away from the chair. So they're going to want to rotate outwards like this. But you want to make sure that you're leading with the outer edge of your foot here so that your toes stay facing forward. Upper body stable. We're going to slowly lift the leg up using the chair for balance and slowly lowering it down. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You feeling that standing leg? Let's do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, great job, guys. So before we move on to the final exercise on this side, if you want to give that leg a little bit of a shake. So we're really working on the endurance on the standing leg as well. So we're working both legs at the same time here. So for the next exercise, we're going to do a hip extension. So looking straight ahead, you're going to extend the leg backwards and then come back to the initial position. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Great job, guys. Feel free to shake out that standing leg if you need to. We are ready to move on to the other side of the chair. So again, we're going to do those 3 exercises in a row, front, side, and back. So let's move to the other side of our chair here. First one for the front of the thigh. So here we go. We're going to extend your legs straight out to the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, feet flat on the floor. Feel free to shake out that standing leg if you need to, and let's go into the outer thigh exercise. So leading with the outside of the foot, toes facing forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Both feet flat on the ground. Feel free to shake out that standing leg before we move on to our final exercise in this area, which is the hip extension, which works the glute. So hand on the back of the chair. We're going to extend the leg to the back and then come back to the initial position. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, great job, guys. Shake out those legs a little bit if you need to. The next exercise is for the calves. And I will show you guys 2 ways to do it, and you pick whichever variation you prefer. So option number 1, you can do either holding onto the chair or not, up to you. Without holding onto the chair, it works on balance a little bit more. So you're going to start with your feet about hip distance apart with your toes facing forward, holding onto the chair or the hips. You're going to lift onto your toes. and then come back down. So that's option number 1. Option number 2, you have to hold on to your chair, and then you're going to lift one foot off the floor and then come up onto your toes this way. So if you are going to do that, I recommend that you do it behind your chair so you can hold on with both hands. So I'm going to show the variation on one foot, but feel free to do it on both feet. That's perfectly okay. We're going to do the exercise up to 12 times. So if you're lifting one foot off the floor, go ahead and lift it up, and here we go. We're up on our tippy toes, working the calf muscle, and then slowly come down. And 2, keep breathing and keep smiling. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, both feet on the ground for everybody. If you decided to do the first variation of the exercise with both feet on the floor, you have 2 options now. So you can either take a little bit of a break until we're ready to move on to the next exercise, or you can do the exercise a second time. If you did it on one foot though, you have to do it on the other side because we do want to be even on both legs. So you're going to hold on to your chair, lift up the other foot, and here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, both feet flat on the floor. That's it for the calf raises. So the next exercise is going to work the other side of the lower leg, the tibialis anterior, which is the muscle that is in front of your shin here. And so for this exercise, we're actually going to do it 15 times, and you really want to focus on only moving in the ankle joint. So the rest of your body should stay relatively stable here. So what we're going to do is, with our feet slightly apart and the toes facing forward, we're going to lift onto our heels, lifting the toes up towards the ceiling. So nice and steady with the rest of your body, we're going to lift the toes up, hold for about a second, and then slowly come back down up to 15. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, 5 more, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, great job, guys. So that is it for our strengthening component of the class. We are going to move on to our cool down, where we are going to do some static flexibility stretching exercises. So the first one is for the calves. So we are going to step as close to our chair as possible. So you want to keep those feet slightly apart with the toes facing forward. And you're going to take a giant step back with one foot, press the heel down towards the floor, and you're going to lunge into that front leg so that your ankle is right above your knee without going over your toes. Now you can either stay here, option 1, option 2, or option 3 is to float your arms up. Look straight ahead and keep the breath long and smooth. And bring your hands down, step your feet together. Guess what? We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So giant step back with one leg. You're gonna bend your knees so that's right above your ankle, and pick whichever arm variation is best for you. Arms are going to come down. You're going to step your feet together. Good. All right. So the next stretch is for the quadricep, and I will give you guys two options here. So the easier option is to face away from your chair, one hand at least on the back of it, and then you're going to place your other shin and top of the foot on your chair with your knees in line with one another. So that's the easier option. Or you can grab a hold of your ankle. So if you are grabbing a hold of your ankle, you want your knees together, your tailbone pointing down, and your chest lifted. So the chest here has a tendency to want to cave down, so keep it proud. So again, we're stretching the front of the leg here, the quadricep muscle. Release your foot and let's go to the other side. Okay, so grabbing a hold of your ankle or placing your shin and top of the foot onto the chair. And foot down, we're going to have a seat at the very edge of our chair here. Extend one leg out. You're going to lift the toes up towards the ceiling. Make sure you're not locking out your knee joint here. So your knee should be slightly soft. And from your hip creases, you're going to fold down here and bring both of your hands either on your bent knee or you can keep your hands on your hips. Now lengthen from hips to armpits. Make sure you keep breathing as you hold these stretches. So we're going to come up, and of course, other leg. We have to do both sides here. Hinging from the hip creases, folding forward, stretching out the back of the leg. And let's come up, we're going to flatten the foot to the floor. You might want to back up a little bit in your chair for the next one. And we're going to do our glute stretch, which is going to be our final stretch for today. And again, couple options. You can either place your ankle on your ankle here, or you can place the ankle on the knee. So your knee might be a little bit higher than mine on this leg, and that's okay as long as you feel it in your glute. Sit tall. Now, if you're quite flexible here and you don't quite feel this in your glute yet, you can gently fold forward, again, from the hips, kind of like we did in our hamstring stretch, so that you feel it a little bit more. And we're going to come up, go ahead and uncross the leg, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Option 1, option 2, and option 3. If you're leaning forward, you're going to come back up. Let's all uncross our leg here. We're going to stand up nice and tall. Inhale, take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for joining me in this week's session of Fun Fit from Home. I encourage you to check out our Facebook page and our YouTube page for all of our other Fun Fit from Home videos. See you next time.